Hello, Sophie here, and today I'm going to be talking about my favourite characters from the Harry Potter book series by J.K. Rowling. I'm going to be fangirling about why I like these characters and talking about my favourite moments, so there will be spoilers in this video. If you have not read all 7 Harry Potter books, do not watch this video, you have been warned. The first character I'm going to be talking about is the one I most often say when asked who's my favourite character from Harry Potter, and that is Professor McGonagall. She's reserved as a teacher, but she still deeply cares about her students, as proven in Deathly Hallows when she thinks Harry's dead. I really liked how her and Snape were like Dumbledore's right-hand people, and I don't know about you, but I would definitely trust her with my life. She tried to defend Hagrid in Order of the Phoenix from Umbridge, and she got 4 stunners in the chest for it. She loves Quidditch. She was so sassy to Umbridge. That was awesome. She told Peeves how to unscrew the chandelier. She was always ready to take control if the headmaster wasn't able to look after the school properly for any reason. Chamber of Secrets when Dumbledore had to leave because of everything that was going on. In Half-Blood Prince when Dumbledore died, and at the end of Deathly when Snape left, and it was the Battle of Hogwarts, and she was so great in that. She definitely knows her magic. I think she's one of the most skilled wizard witches in all of the series, and she can turn into a cat, so that's pretty awesome. I love it when she's talking to Neville about what subjects he wants to take, and he's saying, my grandmother wants this, and she says, just because your grandmother failed her charms doesn't mean it's worthless. And yeah, I was just like, go McGonagall. When Snape wanted to take some points off Gryffindor at the end of Order, he was like, oh no, you don't have any more points, we'll just have to add some more. And she comes and she gives them all points. And when Umbridge slipped in a note and she's like, oh, did you get my note? McGonagall's all like, this thing. Like, McGonagall is amazing. Next is Madame Pomfrey. I think she's the most underrated character in the whole series. Not necessarily by people reading, though I never really hear her mentioned, but by the characters themselves. How many times has she saved their lives and all they do is just tell her to be quiet? I love it in Prisoner of Azkaban when she's checking over Harry at the beginning. She's like, oh, you again, I bet you've been doing something dangerous. And then when she calls him delicate, he gets really offended by that. Also in Order of the Phoenix, when Harry is looking for McGonagall because Sirius is the whole trap thing with Dumbledore, and Madame Pomfrey is all, you know, oh, it's disgraceful. If it wasn't for the students, I would resign in protest. She clearly cares about her patients. She is obviously a very talented healer, and I've always loved Madame Pomfrey. Next is a character that I'm sure is on lots of people's list, and that is Luna Lovegood. She is quirky, she's lovely, she's smart, she's wise, she's brave. She is such a deep character, and she believes in the unbelievable, which is really special. I always found it so hilarious how funny she finds Ron, and so touching the conversation that she has with Harry about the fact that her mum is dead. So I find it really amazing how one character's different actions can evoke such different emotions in me. And that's why she's always been the most kind of real character to me, because she has these different sides. Her Quidditch hat was incredible, the big lion, and she wanted to have it eating a snake. And I love that we got to see another Ravenclaw, and everything about the Thestrals was a really amazing storyline. Next is Oliver Wood, and we don't really get to see much of his much different sides to his character. The one thing we know about him is that he loves Quidditch, and that's always stuck out to me, like how passionate he is about Quidditch. My favourite moment of his was probably in Prisoner of Azkaban when he went to see McGonagall to get Harry's broom back, and he was telling Harry about it, and McGonagall got really annoyed at him because he said that he didn't care if the broom threw Harry off as long as he caught the snitch on it first. And then he was like, oh, you'd think I'd said something terrible. That's always made me laugh so much. And he's just blinded by his love for Quidditch. Next is some more popular characters. That's Fred and George Weasley. I've put them together on my list because they're never really seen apart in the series and they share a lot of character traits. But I will say that I probably slightly prefer George because he's slightly more sensitive. They're both really clever. I loved all the joke products that they designed for their joke shop. I love how much they looked out for Ginny and how they were always really family oriented. There was the moment in Philosopher's Stone when it was Christmas and they were getting Percy to wear his jumper and they were like, Christmas is a time for family. They do understand the pressure that Harry faces and they're always on his side. And I really like that about them. Next is Cedric Diggory, who is loyal, he's kind. I love that we got to see a more prominent Hufflepuff character. He wanted a rematch when he caught the snitch when Harry was affected by the Dementors, and he wanted Harry to get the Triwizard Cup because he thought it was more fair. He's all about the fairness. Who doesn't love Cedric? And yes, I did cry at the end of Goblet. Next is Neville Longbottom. He had the most character development out of anyone, I think. He was always kind-hearted, but at the beginning he was more awkward, and then he grew to be courageous and brave. But even in the first book, when he stood up to Harry, Ron and Hermione, because he didn't want them to lose any points for Gryffindor, like Dumbledore said, there's all different kinds of courage. I think it's great how he loves herbology. I think a lot of people could relate to the shy, awkward child who has a passion or is really good at one subject. He had such a tragic story with his parents, and it always really touches me. The scene where Harry is lying in the dormitory after he's just found out about Neville's parents, and he's thinking about how he gets a lot of sympathy for the fact that his parents are dead, and he was thinking that Neville deserved it much more. And Neville just dealt with this horrible thing. I don't know what I'm saying. I love Neville. Neville excelled in Dumbledore's army, which was really awesome. That was like the beginning of his major transformation. And then at the end of Order, he had the choice to go with Harry when he knew that there was probably going to be Voldemort and Death Eaters there, and he went, and then he was amazing in the heat of battle. And then the final bombshell for me was when we learned that Neville could easily have been the chosen one in Harry's place, just if Voldemort had chosen differently. And add, you know, how many awesome things he did in Deathly, like restarting the DA, fighting against Voldemort and helping the injured and killing Nagini. Neville is epic. How can you not love Neville? And finally, Harry Potter, the chosen one, the boy who lived, the main character of our story. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to dislike Harry, and I cannot at all remember why. Sure, he has his flaws and he makes mistakes, but so does everyone. He never chose for all this stuff to happen to him, and yet he just took it in his stride and he dealt with it, and he's always trying to do the right thing no matter what are the consequences for himself. And he had so much rubbish to deal with, and I think he dealt with it in an incredible way. And yeah, Harry does not deserve hate. The hopes of the wizarding world rested on his shoulders, and he did not disappoint. So there you have it. There's some of my favourite characters from Harry Potter. There are so many to choose from. I have so much love for so many people in this series. In fact, I could probably do many sequels to this video. This video was really fun to plan and think over, and also to record, so I hope it was fun to watch. Who are your favourite Harry Potter characters? Leave a comment down below and we can discuss our love for this series. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and bye!